The name Opie undoubtedly calls to mind the image of that young, freckle-faced boy from the Andy Griffith Show. This endearing character was played by Ron Howard. His story stands out in the world of child stars. Facts First presents Breaking the Mold, how Ron Howard ended up so normal. The Curse of Child Stardom. From Judy Garland to Macaulay Culkin, the stories of child stars often read more like warnings than fairy tales. These kids, thrust into the limelight often before they can even utter their first words, grapple with an overwhelming amount of responsibility too soon, fame, wealth, and an excess of attention. This, more often than not, leads to rough roads ahead, with issues like substance abuse and legal troubles cropping up. It's tough to be in the public eye when you're just trying to figure out who you are. Growing up famous can throw you off balance. But then again, there's Ron Howard. He's pretty much the exception to the rule. The cute kid from the Andy Griffith Show and then the all-American teen Richie Cunningham in Happy Days didn't just survive child stardom. He downright nailed it. He smoothly transitioned from acting to becoming a big-time director and producer. Supportive and stable upbringing. While Howard doesn't recommend his path for most children, key factors allowed him to thrive. Despite fame and fortune from childhood, he describes a normal upbringing with attentive parenting. Not lacking parental support, his mother accompanied him to studios while his father took an active educational role. Rance Howard worked as an actor for decades. He intentionally mentored his son on set, teaching techniques and craft rather than simply putting young Ron before cameras. In a 1966 interview, Howard credited this upbringing for avoiding the, quote, anger and resentment faced by many peers. Quote, most child actors aren't taught how to act. They're sort of taught how to perform. They're like trained animals. I think I made it through because I was working towards something. I had a different dream. While being tutored in acting, he also absorbed lessons by observing crew and production details on set. Bullying and harassment. Unfortunately, even strong family structures couldn't shield Ron from the challenging experiences of bullying throughout his childhood stardom. Starring on network television as Opie Taylor didn't translate to popularity off-screen. In a candid reflection, Howard described how his peers saw him as a weirdo for being a child actor, leading him to being the target of bullying. The irony is palpable when considering that on the Andy Griffith Show, his character often faced scorn from authority figures for being different. Quote, I was the butt of a lot of jokes. My character's name, Opie, rhymes with dopey. I'd have to get into fights with people, he once shared. This constant teasing and bullying forced him into a position where he felt compelled to hide his accomplishments and his acting career, even though he was succeeding on one of the nation's top shows. His family played a crucial role in providing emotional support. His parents were instrumental in helping him navigate these challenging times. They instilled values in him from an early age, emphasizing that his work as an actor was just a job and not something that should define his entire existence or inflate his ego. This grounding approach helped Howard maintain a sense of normalcy and perspective in an environment where fame could easily overwhelm a young mind. Ron and Clint Howard, in their memoir The Boys, a memoir of Hollywood and family, detail their experiences growing up in the entertainment business. Their parents made the radical decision to leave the Midwest and chased show business dreams, creating a unique family dynamic. They focused on ensuring their children understood the value of hard work and the importance of staying grounded, despite the glamour and notoriety of the business. Howard's resilience in the face of bullying and his ability to separate his work from his personal identity were pivotal in his journey from child star to respected director and producer. Transition from child to teen star. In 1974, Howard took on another iconic television role, Richie Cunningham on Happy Days. Originally conceived as a one-off part in a sketch based on the movie American Graffiti, viewers loved Howard's characterization so much, it launched the long-running sitcom. Happy Days allowed Howard to evolve his screen persona from little Opie Taylor to a responsible teenager on the cusp of adulthood. In a 1975 interview, he directly addressed this perception shift. Quote, people are beginning to call me Ron now instead of Ronnie, and I think it's because they are becoming aware that I've grown up and am beyond the Opie image. Richie Cunningham exemplified the boy next door, an idealized teenager. The part reflected sitcom family values, with plot lines exploring first loves, responsibility, morality, and independence. Behind the scenes, he consciously worked to reinforce Richie's transition towards mature roles and prove himself a professional. Balancing act. Throughout his rise to fame on Happy Days, he actively built skills for a future directing career. He honed writing and helming techniques by creating short films outside the show. He also completed coursework at USC Film School between filming, furthering his studies while still supporting the hit sitcom. He leveraged industry resources like mentors and studio facilities to amass practical knowledge. In interviews, he spoke about plans to eventually step behind the cameras as a director and producer. The foresight paid off. When he left Happy Days in 1980 to pursue directing full-time, he had already completed the well-received Roger Corman film Grand Theft Auto. Quiet family life interrupted. In adulthood, he continued to buck child star precedents, sustaining a close family life without scandal or turmoil. He married his wife Cheryl in 1975, and together they raised 4 children. Despite fame and fortune, the Howards emphasized normalcy and independence for their kids. Children Bryce, twins Jocelyn and Paige, and son Reed grew up with regular schooling, chores, and strict maternal guidance. When minor brushes with industry exploitation seeped into their life, Ron took action. In one alarming incident referenced by his daughter Bryce, someone handed her, while, mind you, she was still a preschooler, a script. Rather than entertaining Hollywood pipe dreams pushed upon his toddler, an outraged Howard elected to move the family 3,000 miles away. Relocating from LA to Connecticut, they left fame-obsessed networks to focus on childhood development, shielded from the entertainment machine. After making this move, the Howard children were fully expected to eventually attend college and become self-sufficient. Hollywood legacies on their own terms. All of the Howard children grew into successful adults, and 2 continued the showbiz legacy on their own terms. After attending prestigious acting schools, daughter Bryce and son Reed built acclaimed acting careers as adults. Beginning with smaller roles, they progressed to well-received leads without relying unduly on the family pedigree. For her 2019 Black Christmas Redux lead, Bryce endured weeks of intensive stunt training to perform demanding scenes herself. She brings similar dedication to choices like the Jurassic World franchise and Star Wars universe films directed by others. Rather than accepting easy star child bits from dad Ron, Bryce and Reed laid foundations, attending Tisch, and later honing techniques at respected theaters. This prepared them for the pressures of bigger contemporary parts like those in major Disney Plus and Netflix projects. They echo Father Ron's practical, professional mindset. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite Ron Howard movie? Let us know in the comments section below.